All right, everybody. We are going to be covering some pretty cool stuff today, and this is my friend Gary, IBB Gary.
Hello.
You can share this on your wall. I'm going to pull up this on my laptop like I always do so I can see what questions there are. We're answering questions from something I posted last night, and so we'll be doing that.
Oh my God, look at me standing there like an idiot. There you go. Did I share it? Yep.
Awesome. So while I'm pulling this up, Gary said he had something cool to tell us. These are completely unscripted. I have no idea what he's going to say.
Well, I wanted to share a quick personal story. Kind of goes in line with challenges of the business week. So just yesterday, actually, I had a client working with me, and they needed to get some paperwork done. And what I did was, I called down to my home office to figure out what was going on, what do I need, do this, do that, do that. And I spent a lot of time on this. And I sent out all the forms, and I got my signatures, and I turned it in, and it was all wrong. So I was pretty upset. And I think that's something that happens to a lot of us in business is, uncontrollable things just happen. They come out left and right, and I'm a really emotionally charged person, so when something hits me, it hits me really hard to my core. So it kind of threw my entire day off, and before I allowed myself to get truly upset about it, I took a step back, and James and I, my business partner with IBB, we have this thing called a 24-hour rule. So we don't allow ourselves to emotionally react to something without sleeping on it. So what I did was I took a step back. I said, okay, I'm going to deal with this tomorrow. I woke up with a clear head. I was focused, and I handled everything before I met up with Gabe today. Those clients are going to be happy. My departments are going to be happy because we have all the right forms and signatures, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's happy. I'm not stressed out about it because it's handled. Done deal. So 24-hour rule. If you're an emotionally charged person, sleep on it. Take care of it in the morning.
That's good advice. It's super.
And I'm out.
It's super easy to let what happens in the moment affect your mood and your emotions,
right.
And be like, I can't believe I did this. I'm so stupid, or how did somebody screw me up with this? It's very easy to do that, and that's good advice because you're just like, okay, it's okay, and let it go and kind of unwind from it. That's very good self-reflection. And the more we self-reflect and the more we work on ourselves as business owners, as entrepreneurs, employers, spouses, parents, the better things are. So it's always good to kind of have that self-awareness. So it looks like we got...
I'm glad you said spouses because that's a very, very important one. As a married man myself, definitely 24-hour rule. Or you're just wrong and she's always right. My beautiful wife, who is getting a haircut right now, will appreciate that if she's watching this. So thank you, Amanda.
So definitely always take time to think about that stuff before you jump in. So what we're going to be covering today, as always, is I like to answer your questions, and we got some great questions from Jeffrey and Jesse and Scott kind of chimed in, and we're also going to talk about what IBB means and how you can be a branding rock star. So that's kind of the agenda. So first question that Jeffrey asked, which is a really, really important question, and I'll tell you before I get into details here, a lot of people totally screw this up for years. I know people that have been in business for 20 years and don't get what I'm about to ask or share with you, and they don't even ask the question. So the fact that you're asking the question means that you're already on the right track, in my opinion. So Jeffrey's question was basically, how do you know how much time to spend on getting new clients versus working on your existing, client work and generating revenue and paying the bills. So what I like to think about on that front is, if you don't spend time every day getting new clients, you're going out of business.
Right.
Which is a little bit, that may sound extreme, but here's the thing. I've seen companies do this. So they'll get a big project that comes in, and they spend all their time and resources on it, and they're buried, and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then they come out of this 90-day window or 6-month window where they're done working on something huge, and they have no work. and then all the money they made, if they were profitable, which would be ideal, which doesn't always happen. We know sometimes we do things wrong on the pricing side, which we're talking about next, is that, you know, they're out of leads, they weren't out networking, they weren't, you know, generating new business. So you absolutely, in my opinion, must do it every single day. Now, with that being said, you can't spend 8 hours a day doing it, because then you won't do your billable work, and then you'll be in trouble.
Right.
So Gary has a morning routine that he was just talking to me about, and why don't you talk a little bit about that? I'm going to see if we have any questions. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll take it from here, Gabe. So what I do, and you know, I know Gabe's talked about this a bunch of different times, and it's one of the reasons why I do it is we wake up incredibly early. You know, Gabe also shared a story about how he woke up at like 3 in the morning. He's a crazy person. I happen to just wake up at 4:15. 4:23. I don't know why that actually works for me, but 4:23 is my like second snooze alarm. But I get up before the rest of the world is up. That's how I feel about it, and I can get so many little things out of the way that I would normally be doing at like 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning. Get my social media out there. I like to get as much busy work done. It could be paperwork. It could be, you know, whatever you might be doing for your own business, but getting it done without distractions. 4 in the morning, no one's awake, no one's calling me, no one's asking for anything. I'm getting it all done before I even take a shower. You know, so it's fantastic. Do as much as you can from home as soon as you wake up. That I would take more time and put it back into your day by just, you know, shaving off a couple hours in the morning and just getting up a little earlier.
Definitely. So if you're struggling with your time management of how to like send out the quotes or do lead generation, things like that, get up earlier. It works. There's a book called The Miracle Morning. If you need inspiration, it will change your life if you read it and apply it.
That's the one your brother's reading?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah,
fantastic.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
So it's really powerful. So like this morning, I sent out like 4 quotes, you know, that I've been trying to get to for a couple of days, even though I do get up earlier. But they're done and out of the way, and now I can focus on doing lives so you guys can watch and hanging out with Gary and, you know,
having
things
the
like
best
that.
time.
That's right. So, but if you're willing to just adjust your schedule and break out some of that quiet time where you're not going to be bothered, then that's how you can carve out the time. So you need to balance it. It's like the 80-20 rule. If you don't know what that is, Google it. We'll cover it some other time. But you need to spend about 20% of your productive hours during the day doing lead generation and sales calls and marketing and, you know,
creating pipelines.
Exactly. Yep. And then 80% of the time doing billable work so you can get a paycheck end of the week. So that's kind of my answer to that, Jeffrey, and it's a great question. And, you know, this is literally, I think this every day. If I'm not generating leads, I'm going out of business. That's what I tell myself. And I have tons of leads and tons of business, but that's the way I look at it. I think it's dire.
No, you gotta consistently be evolving, you know, every single day. Whether that's servicing your clientele that have already spent money on whatever you do, or out there, you know, showing the world, you know, that you should be doing business with me. So you always got to be evolving, you know, with the service and with bringing in the new leads as well. Yeah.
So then the second, you know, question and really great, perfect combination is how to price properly. And so there's a way that I see a lot of young entrepreneurs do this, and then there's a better way or the right way in my opinion. And a lot of the times when we start out in business, we're like, I'm going to sell, you know, these widgets. I'm going to provide this service. We work out all the costs, and so say I'm going to open a computer shop and sell gaming computers, which I don't recommend doing this. I'm just saying for example. I'm going to sell gaming computers, so I add up all my costs. My computers are going to cost me $300 to make, and then I'm like, what kind of margin should I have on that is the next kind of thought process, and what do you think is a healthy margin?
I don't know. So it costs you $300?
Yeah, my cost is $300 to put it on shelf.
$400? I
Okay,
don't know.
exactly. So that's normal pricing thought process.
Okay.
And that's fine. But here's the problem. If you price like that and you're making your 30% or whatever that is, and then pricing changes, what's going to happen? You're going to be cutting into your profit because it's a little bit harder to raise prices, and you're doing a cost plus pricing. And that is possible, and people do it, and you know, if you do it right, that's fine. The way I like to look at pricing is we'll say, for sake of conversation, that you want to make $5,000 a month or $4,000 a month. We'll make it easy round numbers. I can do it in my head. So you want to make $4,000 a month, and your potential is to sell, we'll say again, for easy numbers, to sell 2 computers a week. So if you're selling 2 computers a week and you want to make $4,000 for the month, then you've got to make what? A margin of $500 to hit your number, right?
Okay.
So instead of marking up off of cost, you build the profits around what you need individually, what the business needs, the profits that you want. So then we'd be selling computers for $800 instead of $400.
Got it.
And that may and so as you're looking at pricing, work it around what you want to make. Don't, be an entrepreneur, work for yourself, or start up your side thing and work like a dog and not make any money.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's crazy.
Well, here's another thing that I was thinking about was, what about competition? What about all the other computer shops that are all around you that make the same thing, that are, literally next door to you or down the street? How do you work that into your same number?
Yeah.
Do you even consider that, or do you just,
So marketplace competition is real, and you have to look at that, and you have to balance it by saying, okay, well, maybe the neighboring shop is doing them for $500 or $600. But if you sell 2 computers, let's say that your competitor's shop, their margin is $100, like we said, they're making $100. They have to sell 5 computers to make, what you make in 1. So you may work harder for the 1 sale, but if you offer better service and a better product, and you're offering something that's way more valuable, it's going to be a little bit harder. You're going to have to sell to a little bit higher clientele, but in 1 sale, you make in, what they have to put in 5 sales of effort to generate. So it is a balance. And so there's no pricing magic formula,
right.
But I want to challenge everybody watching, don't automatically start at a cost plus margin just to try to eke out a margin. Start with what I want to make and work your way backwards and say, is this a viable pricing model? If it's not, then maybe you need to adjust the product that you're selling, or maybe say that, because Gary's completely right, maybe the competition is so tough that you can't mark up more than $100. But maybe you can sell an 80% profit protection plan,
or something. Oh, yeah, okay.
Or maybe you
additional
can say,
upsell things.
by the way, we offer the best prices on computers. We're actually cheaper than anybody around here. Just say that was your pricing model.
Okay.
And then you sell them on that, and you say, by the way, could I come set it up in your home for $95?
Right.
Or you add
what additional value can you bring
right.
that the competition isn't doing that's going to separate you from everybody else?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So another kind of one of my virtual business mentors, Billy from Forever Jobless, I can never remember his last name, but if you go to foreverjobless.com, you can read his stuff. He's hands down one of the smartest entrepreneurs I've ever read. So he says if you're going to enter a marketplace, or you're going to start a product, or you're going to start a business, the number one thing that you need to solve is, can I provide better value than anybody else out there?
Okay.
So you're not going to make it in the computer business, like I said, just by trying to sell computers like everybody else. You're not going to make it in any industry or anything, honestly, by starting out if you're just like everybody else. If you can double or quadruple or 10x the value that you're giving away, inside of your product or your service compared to the competitors, you'll have no problem with price.
Right.
Because you'll just be blowing away what everybody else is doing.
Right. So, again, that additional value, everyone can sell the, whatever computer products are out there, everyone can do that, but what can you do differently that just makes you the only person that can do that in the world or in the market, and then that way everyone will only come to you because you're the only one that can do that. So, yeah.
Being the most valuable in the marketplace.
Valuable. Hashtag valuable.
That's right. And let me just check questions here, and then we'll move on to the last part.
Awesome.
So.
And I just wanted to thank, Gabe again for having me be here. This is incredible. I love this chalkboard, everything on here, and just this production is just fantastic. So thank you guys so much. I don't know how many people are watching us, 7.
Yep.
So thank you to everyone checking us out.
Awesome. So the last thing I'm going to talk to you guys is how to be an IBB rock star at marketing. So I'm wearing my brand new shirt that I didn't know I was getting today from Gary, it's really awesome, and it's really high quality.
Gabe officially joined Team IBB as our marketing superstar, and the big thing about IBB, I'll just take it from
go
here
for
if
it.
you don't mind.
Tell them they don't know what IBB means.
So IBB stands for I've Been Burned, and it all has to do with a story about my mother. And my mom just got kind of taken advantage of, and she had to go back to work for 6.5 years. And then what I do for a living is I just make sure that that never happens to anybody else. So IBB is like a badge of honor that me and my business partner, James Schleicher, wear on literally every single piece of our clothing. The first thing he said to me was, hey, grab a bunch of your clothes and we're going to embroider this on all of them. But make sure it's something that, you're comfortable wearing every single day. So if you see us in, Willoughby, everywhere, you're going to see IBB all over everything. We hashtag IBB. If you follow anything that I do, it's IBB Gary. You can go to IBBGary.com or follow us on Snapchat, IBB Gary, Instagram, IBB Gary. It's like everything is IBB. So with the branding, all you have to do is make it part of your life. Every single aspect of your life. I have IBB Quinny for my daughter. It's everywhere. All we do really is we put it on all of our clothes. We make everyone feel good about it. It's like, hey, you got this cool gift, and it's a nice shirt, and it's pretty cool, and you just wear it around, and naturally you're just doing some branding and marketing for us, and people are going to ask you, hey, what's that shirt? Because it looks pretty cool, right? And then they're going to say, hey, that's my buddy Gary. He's got some website that he writes a dad blog on. It's a part of everything that is inside of us that we can give out to the public. We share stories. We just do everything that we can to attach it to life itself. So
yeah, and so the reason that I want to share this is because Gary works in an industry where his best option is to do personal branding. And so I've had other people, not Gary, but other people come to me and say like, well, I sell insurance, or I'm in real estate, or I'm in something that has high regulation, or like I can't do this and I can't do that. Mm-hmm. And they come to me with all these ideas of things they can't do because of the obstacles or challenges that they have due to regulation or how their industry works or whatever other excuse they have. And in reality, if you say you can't do something, of course you're not going to do it. You already told yourself, and it's a done deal.
Right.
But the truth is that personal branding can be done in any industry, in any space. And the cool thing is that Gary and James, who have fantastically come up with this brand and push it out all the time. I mean, if you want to learn how to brand, follow these guys. But the truth is, like, you'll get to know Gary and who he is, and I hope everybody has the opportunity to work with him. You should check him out. He's tagged, and you should message him and see what he can do for you, because he's a cool dude. But the greatest thing is that, like, 5 years from today, when Gary adds a new product or service, or say he gets into personal coaching, whatever it might be, he has a following, and they'll keep following him because they're following him as a personal brand. And early in my entrepreneurial career, I started out naming a company after myself, and then I found that I didn't really like branding just on myself, so then I incorporated to a business name, and now I have business names and products, and those are important. You should definitely brand your products and services as something that makes sense for them. Like Copywriter today is obviously about writing. Business Marketing Engine is about business marketing. Like, you should have those, but you never want to sacrifice or set aside your personal branding. That should be just as prominent, if not more, because that allows you to pivot or add new products or do different things like that. So it's a great example as far as branding. You can obviously use the same thing to brand your product or business. It doesn't have to be personal branding, but there's a lot of spaces or times or places where personal branding is your best option and maybe your only option, and so it's a good thing to implement.
The most important part about it is it's fun. If it's something that you believe in, it's your personal brand, and it's a part of like your soul and everything that is you down to the core, it's going to be so much fun. So everything that my partner and I do, and I know Gabe's done some stuff for us with our IBB top threes, where Gabe shared his top 3 keys to success. Like, I'm sitting there watching him as I'm videotaping him and learning from him, because I know that Gabe's done a lot of great things, and I want to do a lot of great things too. We open up fortune cookies that we're just we tell funny stories about how, we're fortunate to have people in our lives, and then the fortune cookie kind of shows us hopefully a quote that we can relate back to it. So it's just a lot of fun. So just find something that you can attach yourself to and then just make it a part of your life.
Yep. And this is Gary's second live with me. I know he's done a bunch of them already now, but the first one we did, he's like, "This is my first one, I think."
Yeah.
And don't be worried about like trying something out or trying to brand yourself or trying doing a Facebook Live or doing video or writing something. You may feel silly. That's okay. I feel silly sometimes. I'm sure you guys hear me like stutter or forget what I was going to say, or it happens. So don't worry about making a fool of yourself, because if that's what you're worried about, here's what's happening. If that's what's stopping you and you're not going to take action, then what's really happening is that you're taking away from somebody else the gift that you could have given them, the valuable gift, the inspiration, the help, or things like that. So it's not about you, sorry. It's about what you can give to others and how you can serve and how you can really make the world a better place. So if you're nervous, fine. But I'm nervous too. Like the last time I spoke at a group that Gary's in, for some reason, like coming up there, I was like squeamish about it. And I've done a lot of this and spoken, and that's not normal for me. But I was afraid that day, and it happens. You may be afraid today or think you're going to look silly or stupid, and that's okay, because you may do it for 5 years, and then you have another day where you feel silly or scared or stupid, and that's okay. So take your eyes off yourself, and then you won't be so worried about how you're doing, and think about, hey, if I could just help one person, if only one person watches this video and it changes their day, that's all you need.
Right. No, absolutely. We were just talking about that. And what's funny is, when Gabe, when I first saw him speak at one of these groups that we're in, he just admitted it to everyone. He just said, hey guys, I'm nervous normally, and I'm kind of scared right now. So he actually took that fear, which is one of his F's in his ABCs of entrepreneurship. So if you're not watching it, check it out, because it is awesome. But he just puts the fear out there. So then it's no longer, here inside of him. He just throws it out there, and then I feel like he's, just showing us in front of this public room that, it's okay to be scared. Just like he's saying, I was nervous. I don't know if you guys could tell, I'm very like high energy, but like when I started talking at first, I could feel it inside of me until I started to get going that I was nervous. I told him at 6 in the morning when we were chatting, I was like, I'm excited, but I'm nervous. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And listen to me now, I can't shut up. So it's okay to be scared, and once you get uncomfortable, that is when the true growth is going to really shine through. So challenge everyone to just try something a little bit different, and if it works out, great, and if not, that's okay. Try something else.
You can always change. So
absolutely,
your only failure will be, I was talking to a guy that I'm really looking forward to working with, and I think is going to be a great friend. I was talking to somebody a little bit earlier today, and I'm like, the only mistake you could make is not starting. If you don't start, then you're absolutely going to fail. Right. And the only mistake you can make is not trying and not taking action. So that I think is the most important thing to remember. And a couple quick shout outs. Jesse, glad to have you on. I don't know what time you jumped on, but you'll be able to kind of watch the pricing part, and definitely comment, ask me any questions. I can dive into more detail, but it should give you a little bit of a framework. Chris, what's up, man? Good to see you. I'm looking forward to talking to you later. Jeffrey, I forget if I said hey to you, and I think that's everybody that's mentioned something. If you're watching this later, make sure that you share it if you found value. That really motivates me and Gary, and we're like, yeah, we'll do this at least one more time. And, comment with your questions, or tell me like your pricing idea is stupid, Gabe. No, whatever you think. Like, give me your honest feedback, because that's really what helps me and helps kind of fuel doing these. And I really enjoy doing them. And thanks for coming on today, Gary.
No, thank you. This is awesome.
IBB shirt. And definitely check them out. If you're not Facebook friends, then you're missing out. So go be friends. And
a lot of cute baby pictures on there too. So.
You'll see lots of babies. So that'll be good. So as always, guys, super appreciate you. I love doing this, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. That was fun.